Guys, Pylon here with another Wolcen video, and I'm going to show you the proper way to make a staff mage build. First off, take a look at the footage and some of the gameplay. See how this bad boy operates. Okay guys, let's go ahead and dive into this build. And there's a lot of stigmas surrounding the staff. People say it's weak, and for the most part they're right, but there's some things they don't understand about it. And there's one key thing within this build that'll show you how to make a great staff build. So for one, a lot of people don't realize for certain magic, especially with the Ice Lance, you can attack and use your staff at the same time. So you'll see here, I'll have ice projectiles and my staff going on at the same time. And this is phenomenal for the staff use because you're building mana while you're attacking at the same time, and you're having a lot of projectiles go out there. So that's where this build really shines. It's pretty much the only way I found that the staff build is viable. Other magic skills as fireball and the lightning just doesn't proc with your staff. You can't attack at the same time. So, but with lightning, you definitely can. Now let's go over a couple of skills that I normally use and how I put this build together. Bulwark of the Dawn is your old crap move. So if you're starting to take damage, you want to pop this bad boy off really quickly. And what it is an AoE heal. I'll show you how I spec into it. It'll follow me, and honestly, it'll help you and your teammates out. So here, I took up the +2 second skill duration. Over here, increased health regeneration per tick. Down here, increased healing rate. Reduced willpower cost. Cooldown, 3.6 seconds. And this Divine Omnipresence. Healing area of the effect follows the player around that is cast on. So I think this is really important because you're going to be doing a lot of moving around. You are a glass cannon with this build, but this will pop you up to full health. You could be on your deathbed, and this thing will get you back to where you need to be. So this is how I built this particular skill, and it's great. Next, this is another oh crap move here. So your Aether Jump. Definitely use this to get out of tricky situations. The cool part about it is that you can teleport through mobs whenever you can't roll through them. So let's go into the specs I have on this one. Increased teleport range here. Increased teleport range here. Allow skill to be cast multiple times. Each recast has an increased willpower cost. This is not that big. I like being able to cast it multiple times, but the way you generate health and I mean generate your mana, mana's not an issue. So if you need to jump 2 or 3 times to get out of a sticky situation, you can do that. And casting this skill removes all crowd controlling effects. It's a little icing on cake. You can probably put this somewhere else if you want to. Maybe here, but I don't think willpower regeneration is that big of an issue. Alright, Liber Mortis. This is pretty much bread and butter, man. You want to keep guys off of you because the Ice Lance, the way I have it spec, does take a while for it to go off. So you want this guy to be able to hold aggro and keep things at bay. So oddly enough, though, I did not take the threat. I had him on the threat generation passive, but I took it off. Honestly, I just want him to get in there and do a lot of damage, and he holds aggro long enough for me to decimate things. So I took the increased damage for summon here, increased movement speed for summon, increase attack speed for summon, increase attack speed again. Summon generates more threat. I guess I did keep it. And increase damage for summon. And this guy here, it drops a big chunk of ice on the enemy's head. And, I don't really use it a whole lot. Sometimes, though, if I'm doing too much running around, you can just pop this skill off while you run and situate yourself a little bit better. But I got it here to cooldown 1.8 seconds. Critical chance score 40%. average damage plus 20%, average damage 10%, effect radius 1 meter, and critical damage plus 25%. Okay, and let's see, the core of the build here is going to be your Arctic Spear. And I'll show you what the passives I took here. Critical damage, 35%. Willpower cost, -19. Alright, we have an average damage, 100%, but it does increase the cast delay. So, to me, it's not that big of an issue. If you want to play a little bit faster, speed style, you can. Maybe drop this to pick something else up. Average damage, 10%. Average damage, 10%. And while traveling, the spear releases smaller spears. I know it tells you there's a negative 20% damage, but this is a necessity skill. Just the little spears you get just overturns that 20% damage. You'll notice it, and when they're exploding all around, everything's just being shredded. So you must have this Sublime Fracture for your Arctic Spear. All right, let's take a look at the stats before I actually get into the skill tree here. The reason why I wanted to kind of explain to you what kind of build I was doing. You can see my ferocity is just, I'm tapping that sun gun out. I just want it as high as I can get it. And it'll increase my attack critical chance score, spell critical chance score. And so the melee damage I'm doing and my Ice Lance I'm doing, it's going to be critting. I wanted everything just to crit. I didn't want to fall back on elements or anything like that. I just wanted raw damage and lots of projectiles for this particular build. So that's why I really pumped everything into ferocity. Now you can see that agility is my second highest score. My agility pretty much is coming all from my gear. I'm pretty much putting gear with high agility on me. And the reason for that is I want to be fast as well. So it's keeping my attack speed up while I'm just throwing everything out there. So you can see I have a attack speed bonus of 44.4%. Critical chance with weapons, 41%. Critical damage, 221. You can see the average damage up here is 1273. So I really did not want to play around with elements. I tried elements with a previous build and I didn't care for it. I actually tried this build with straight wisdom instead of ferocity, and just the damage wasn't there for me. I didn't like the playstyle either. So that describes what I was doing there. Now let's get to some of the bread and butter skills I have here. Now, I was telling you I was really focusing on projectiles and boosting projectile damage. For one, your staff shoots projectiles. 2, the Ice Lance counts as a projectile. So you're boosting 2 attacks there pretty much for the price of 1. So the first major skill I came here and got the Sentinel here. Your attack and spellcasting speed is increased. You know, as I was saying before, I was trying to attack as fast as I can, throw out as much projectiles as I can. And you can see I kind of grabbed everything around this little area here. Whatever added projectile damage and speed boost. I did come over here and get the Ranger. 175% all projectile damage scaling with distance at 15 meters. And pretty much the farther away you keep things, the more damage you'll do. So it's a pretty good skill. This one piggybacks on that. Deal increased damage when far away from enemies. 25% more damage. And you can have these little things here. It'll make the radius a little bit smaller. So that was kind of a must for the build. Over here, projectiles that hit an enemy at close range pierces them, meaning that the projectile can hit other enemies behind them. I kind of got this last just because I really was planning on keeping enemies at distance, but there's just certain situations where you're going to be close to your enemies. There's certain enemies that'll put up a bubble around them, and you have to get close to attack them. And so for those particular situations, this skill really does shine. So you can eke out a little bit more damage, take down those mobs quicker when you're in close range. Right here, attacking spells that launch projectiles now launch an additional projectile. The damage of each projectile is decreased. You know, this is another bread and butter skill. You know, your staff will gain another projectile as well as your Ice Lance. It'll get another projectile. And then we have projectile damage on either side of here that I'll give that to. Now, I did mosey up here into an Arms Master tree, and it's a little bit off the beaten path, but this one here is what I was aiming for, the Pugilist Momentum. And you can see as for the staff, it'll have the 4th attack of a staff basic attack combo fires additional projectiles in target direction. So we're adding more projectiles upon our staff attack, so that's actually really good. And then you have right here, the fourth attack of each basic attack combo deals 50% more damage. So extra projectile, more damage on that projectile. And you can see I scooted over here a little bit, picked up some force shield regeneration, and I went for these two guys here. See, Wintry Hail. When a projectile hits an enemy, it will bounce off them and hit another enemy, dealing increased frost damage. Projectile will now balance if they have piercing remaining. So pretty much what this is doing for my projectiles is that they're going to be bouncing around to other enemies doing more damage. Came up here and got acute tracking. Every second that you're in combat, you receive cold-blooded points that increase your damage. If you're a hit, the cold-blooded points are removed. So it's kind of self-explanatory. The longer you go without getting hit, the more damage bonus you get. And if you come down here and get this cold-blooded point modifier here, you'll stack modifiers quicker. And I'm probably going to top it off of making my way here and get this damage increase based on how much pierce is remaining on your projectile after it hits. Just a little bit more damage. Your Ice Lance will have, it does have piercing on it, so you can eke out a little bit more damage on that. And from there, I probably will try to get up a little bit more defense, see what I can pick up as far as shield percentage. Get that up like this one here, 50% for a shield, and rounding out my last couple of points with defense, honestly. So I was debating if I wanted to get here, increase maximum rage and willpower, but honestly, I'm really not having a problem with regenerating willpower. Every now and then you do get started, maybe you fired off too many projectiles or you're just aiming in the wrong direction. If you do find yourself being starved for willpower, just go ahead and use your mana potion here. Pop that and you'll be right back on top. But that happens once in every blue moon. I'll have to do that. But being able to attack with your Ice Lance and your staff at the same time, you're just regenerating so much more mana. And with the extra projectiles coming off your staff, you're just going to be, all that mana willpower is just coming back to you. So running out of mana really isn't an issue for this particular build. But yes, this is what I see as pretty much the only viable staff build so far. I tried a couple of them and it did not flesh out. This one is working perfectly though. I want to say I kind of found the niche and I love it. But if you guys like what you saw here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I will have more videos on the way. So this is your boy Pylon signing out.